In meditation, the concept, I believe, is to exclude everything around you, to focus on your inner self, to rest. I realized that is skateboarding. And when you're skating in the park, your run, you cannot think about anything else. You're solely focused on what you're doing.
Once you meet people that have got the same kind of mindset of you, common ground isn't a hard thing to sort of achieve. I don't know, it's you're at ease. You can talk to those people about, it could be anything. It could be the other stuff that is bothering you in your life. You know, you've got an outlet to talk to people, and as a man, it's not easy to talk to people. You know, the girls talk to each other all the time, and it's difficult as men.
"61-year-old Keith has long been an avid fan of skating. He used his passion to make like-minded friends with whom he skates regularly.
Well, one thing about skateboarding is that it's, although it can be very much an individual activity or pastime, it's very much a group vibe, you know, because there's a lot of camaraderie in skateboarding. Everybody, no matter what level they're skating at, is trying to achieve something.
I've known Keith for a few years, but I've known some of the other guys 30 plus years. So, you know, and we still kept in touch. That's that kind of community that you might not see someone for 4 or 5 years, and then as soon as you do, you're back to old times. It's quite nice, you know.
It's just rad. It's like real kind of camaraderie now. Everyone kind of just... Well, to be fair, actually, when I was coming down, a lot of these guys were just helping me out with my skating, and it's so cool, you know. And then you just build friendships like that, really.
Keith's group of silver skaters travel to many skate parks in order to not just justify their desire to skate, but also their desire to talk to one another about life's most difficult moments. Both keeping busy and exercising were two ways in which men themselves, when surveyed, said dealt best with feelings of both depression and anxiety.
I actually lost my brother last year, so so it's been real tough, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why I've kind of really thrown myself into skating. Absolutely, it's kind of like it's a positive distraction from life, I guess.
Not only does Keith skate, he also produces his own skateboards in his workshop in Bournemouth, often donating them to younger skaters.
I call it the shed of dreams because literally that's what I do in here, is create people's dreams. I'll get orders for a board, maybe custom shape, size, whatever. I'm limited obviously to the actual concaves by the concrete mold you can see over there in the press. And then I normally do the artwork. I grew up in Cape Town. Man, the peninsula itself is especially good because it's got coastlines facing every direction. You have offshore winds somewhere. There's always going to be enough swell for some place. The tide's going to be right for some place. All you've got to do is drive around, and sometimes all morning until you find the right spot. I got into surfing just through friends when I was probably 12. It was just fun. It's just fun to go down the beach and hang around with friends and get in the water and learn something different. And surfing's a fun sport, you know, especially if the water's warm. And just carried on surfing. In fact, and then I got into skating because we were just imitating surfing when there wasn't any surf. And it's the same thing was happening in California. And the sport changed. Skateboarding changed because of that. The leading guys in the skate vibe in the 70s were just doing sort of sidewalk surfing and trying to find banks and emulate the actions of a wave. And then they found empty pools.
Yeah, I met Keith totally by chance on a riverboat trip. We were both on separate trips and we were going down the Orange River in kayaks. And we were sleeping on the beaches overnight for about 3 nights. He was in a group with his friends and I was with another group with some friends. And our boats just bumped into each other one afternoon. He's so cranky if he doesn't get a skate in at the weekend. It's his place to be. It's definitely his therapy. I paint and I do a bit of mindfulness, and that's what brings me back to myself. And that's definitely for him. He's an adrenaline junkie. He really needs that buzz, and that's his thing. And I think it's good for him.
Seeking mental health well-being through exercise is considered a successful form of therapy, something Keith and the Silver Skaters see as an important part of their routine.
I work from home, so I have to make the effort to go out a lot of the time now. The last couple of years have been quite hard, just getting the motivation to leave the house, because I don't really need to, which is a bit sad in a way, but it's always nice to go out and hang out with a bunch of friends and do something that you enjoy.
It's always like a positive vibe. Everyone's just kind of geeing everyone on, you know, and just giving motivation, and just everyone's so enthusiastic. And it's just a cool. Like, some people might go to the pub, but we go to the skate park, and it's just, you know, just having that kind of male bonding, I guess. And it's cool.
Later in life now, it's just something that gives me a sense of accomplishment, gives me a sense of freedom, gives me a sense of well-being to be out doing those sorts of things. And you know, you come away from the park, unless you have a big tumble, you come away generally feeling better about yourself.
In 2019, 5,691 suicides were recorded in England and Wales. 3/4 of these were men. Studies show that men find it difficult to simply consider their mental well-being, with 40% of men saying it would take thoughts of suicide to even compel them to seek professional help.
I honestly feel one of the big problems is men have difficulty in communicating their feelings, especially if they relate to failings. And this might be why they don't seek assistance. They are too afraid to tell their friends they have a problem. It's just something built into men that you don't want to show that you fail. And the interesting thing here, I can bring this back to skateboarding, is that you learn to fail in skating. You learn to fail in front of your friends. And you learn that you can talk about failures and difficulties and be open about reality. And you know, if that helps some people in some way, that's very important.
He obviously was really gutted at the time. We knew it was coming. She hadn't been well for a long time. He had gone over to see her. I took the girls over in 2018, and he was supposed to come, but he's never organised, so he hadn't got his passport ready, and it wasn't renewed in time, so he couldn't come with us at Christmas in 2018. I felt it was time to go because I felt that Granny wasn't well. So we saw her in December, and then he went over at Easter 2019. So when she did pass away, he was devastated. We were sad, but in a way happy that she wasn't suffering anymore. He doesn't really talk about it much.
I love my life. Absolutely love my life. And if you can find that, you're very fortunate. But it is about just don't go for someone else's stuff. Go for your stuff. You know what fills your boots, do it. No, that's it.